coverage that nothing by any means. So if on your job, we watch Forensic Files. We watch Forensic Files. One of the episodes of Forensic Files, someone was trying to kill their wife. And what they did, they got her key, got access to her job, poisoned the water cooler. Poisoned the water cooler. Now you know good well your wife ain't the only one to drink out this water cooler, but you were just so bent on killing her, you put everybody else in the and folks begin to get sick because they drank the water. And then they found out that it was the same sickness she felt when she was home a few nights before, having drinks with him. He tried to poison her there. But I'm saying you could be innocent. An innocent bystander of someone else's evil scheme, but guess what? You won't be harmed. You won't be collateral damage. All right? Now, that's spiritual dominance. Let's look at self-dominance. Self-dominance. Deuteronomy 8 and 18. Deuteronomy 8 and 18 says this. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God. Thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee, what word you think is coming up? Power. Power. It is he that giveth thee power. You ain't got to ask, you ain't got to beg. It's given to you. It is he that giveth thee power, ready for this? To get wealth. So while we sitting around waiting for money to fall out the sky and money coming and all that, the Bible says remember God, because it's him that gives you the power to get wealth. Wealth is in yourself. Self-dominance. Jay-Z made a phrase. He said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Understand? Saying, I'm not a businessman, I am a businessman. Me, myself. Look at the evangelist, Joyce Meyer Ministry. It's not Joyce Meyer's church. It's not Joyce Meyer. Does she have a church? I don't know. She has a ministry. So wherever she goes, that's her ministry. T.D. Jakes' ministry is different from the Potter's house. The Potter's house is the church. But when it's T.D. Jakes' ministry, that's all him. It's a ministry. You have the ability within yourself to get wealth. You are the wealth. Make it happen. Because he said, I gave you the power. Interpretation of that, I've given you the mind. I've given you the ability to think and put things together, put stuff together. What's needed? What's the best way, or what's the best business to have? A business that caters to demand. Huh? A business that caters to the demands of the people, supply and demand. Oh, that's a great business. Huh? Why do you think drug dealers? And I know that's bad, maybe a bad, but that's why do you think drug dealers make so much money? So because it's a supply and demand. They supply the public. What is demand? Look at the restaurant. Folks got to eat. Everybody don't cook every day. Some folks can't cook. So some restaurants make a killing because supply and demand. Look at gas stations. Gas stations that are strategically placed by highways and roads where there's no other gas station make a killing. Make a killing. I remember talking to one of the gas station attendants at Costco. They say they pulling about 100 grand a week in gas. 100 grand a week in gas. That's just one Costco. Because down the street from College Sam's Club, what they do? Down the street from there is Deltas, what they do? It's like supply and demand. But you have the ability within yourself to get wealth. And wealth does not come from other people. Look at anyone that's wealthy. they would tell you it didn't come from nobody else. It came from them and something inside. Now, those that don't know God won't give God credit for it. But he said, I gave it to you. If you don't use it, you'll always be broke. Watch this. And he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. Watch this. Matthew 25 and 23. Matthew 25, 23. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. A few things. Been faithful over a few things. I will make thee. He said, I will make thee ruler over many. Could we caption that as having dominance? I will make you ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Dominance. Yes. Now, I know I just described some things. I said invincible. That's the adjective used to describe Iron Man. It's the invincible Iron Man. You got the Incredible Hulk. Superman is just Superman. He's just super. But even with invincibility, even with incredible strength, even with superpowers, they all have a weakness. So see how smart y'all are. With all that dominance I just told y'all, with all that God-given dominance, all that Jesus-given power, all that self-contained power, what do you think the one weakness is to that power? Say it. Sin. Plain and simple. Sin. How many know sin weakens? Yes. Sin makes you weak. Yeah. Out of all that God-given dominance, that Jesus-given power, that self-contained, you're a dynamo within yourself. All that power can be weakened by sin. Judges 16 and 17. Listen to this testimony. This is Samson. Judges 16 and 17. That he told her all his heart. And said unto her, Samson talking to Delilah, there have not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. So before Samson was born, he was sanctified. All right? He was holy. He was set aside for God's own purpose. He was one of the judges that was to come forth to liberate Israel from the enemy. Samson was given a Nazarene vow. Who else you think had a Nazarene vow? Who else came from Nazareth? Jesus. And the vow was no razor was supposed to come on their head, wasn't supposed to shave your head. What the mother was not supposed to intake in strong drink and wine. You weren't supposed to give yourself over to drinking wine, because strong wine and strong drink is a mocker, makes you act out of character. It brings on other spirits, and so you're supposed to cleanse yourself so you are sacred. No razor supposed to come in your head, no strong drink, wine, none of that, right? It says, I was a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become what? Weak, and be like any other man. The vow was not in his locks. The vow was in not cutting. You know, the power wasn't in his hair. It was in the vow. Not to shave your head. That's why after all them other tips to defeat Samson, he shook himself and he was able to get his strength. But this time, while he slept in her lap and she shaved his head, when the Philistines came in against him, he tried to shake himself, wasn't no power. Why? Because of sin. He's now weak. And sin is simply disobedience to God. Out of all that power that's given to us, sin weakens. Watch this. Isaiah 14 and 12. Isaiah 14 and 12. The Bible says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Who was Lucifer?
The devil.
He's the devil now, but who was he when he was Lucifer?
He was a prince.
He was a prince, one of the most beautiful creations, one of the most beautiful angels there were. All right? In charge of praise and worship in heaven. Beautiful. He glistened and glimmered and shined. Gorgeous. Huh? But full of vanity. Full of self-absorbed pride. Said that I'm going to ascend above the mountain. I'm tired of worshiping God. I want some worship. And was able with his slick talking tongue, was able to seduce 1/3 of God's angels in believing, if you join me, we'll overthrow God. Now that's some talking. It says, how art thou fallen from where? Heaven. You were set up high. You was in heaven. You was second in command in heaven. Lucifer was second in command under God. But he didn't like being second place. Another thing Jay-Z said, he said, you don't want to come in second because second is the first loser. When you second runner up, you the first loser. Watch this. O Lucifer, son of the morning. You was a son of the morning star. You was a son. That's why when God called the meeting in Job and all the sons came, that's why Lucifer showed up late. Because he's still a son. You were fallen son, but you were a son. You was in a good place, but you messed up. Watch this. How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? And then the Bible goes on to say, and when we see Satan, the Bible says, they're going to look at him and say, you the man? They're going to say, you the, how many know who Mr. Magoo is? Little short, bald, thick. That I heard one of my teachers tell me that's how Satan gonna look. You gonna look at a little short, 4 foot, bald head, thick glasses, nerd looking, and you gonna be like, you was the one that caused all this havoc. Because the Bible said he is as a roaring. Didn't say he was a roaring lion. It says that's a what metaphor, right? He is as a. So guess who gives him his teeth, his claws, his muscles, his big mane, guess who gives it to him? We do. How? Through fear and sin. Every time we're afraid, we're putting bigger teeth in his mouth. Every time we sin, we're putting sharper claws in his paws. Every time we disobey God, we give him them bigger mane. Every time we sin, we build him up to be this enormous, gigantic beast. When the Bible says, when they see him, they're going to say, you the man? You the one that caused all this trouble? And so we see that out of all the power that's given to us, sin weakens. So if we want to remain strong, let us not sin. Y'all got it. I'm going to close with this thought right here. Out of all that I just told you, I gave you the Old Testament where God gave us power before we were created. I read in the New Testament where God gave us power spiritually. We got it naturally and spiritually. Did I read or have you ever read anywhere where God took his dominance back? So when we do not live a dominant life in God, we live beneath our means, and that's another mark you miss when you don't live a life in which you are fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and dominate. how that